So we all know that Microsoft is one of the most successful companies. They are behind Windows, Minecraft, Xbox, LinkedIn. But in 5 years, the price share went from 184 to 436. That's a huge increase. But is it still a good investment today? Did they reach the peak or there's still room to grow? Well, in this video, we're going to answer this question by looking at the raw numbers of the economic situation, and then finally we're gonna see what the analysts are actually saying about it. So let's get started. Created in 1975 by Bill Gates and Paul Allen, the purpose of this company was to make personal computers available to everyone. Let's say that they've been quite successful with doing that because almost every computer they have Windows. They didn't stop just there because they wanted to innovate themselves, and especially they built Office package. And just think about Word and Excel, which are basically the foundation of almost every business. And they took a share of the gaming industry by buying Xbox and Mojang. Then they took a share about the working market. Nowadays, they start to invest a lot into artificial intelligence. But was it successful? Are they doing good? Well, let's look at the annual report, and we can see that the revenue for that year is about 245 billions. So we can say that they have been quite successful in doing that. A huge share of this profit is from the cloud, which is one of those sectors that they don't talk about that much, but it's one of the most profitable one. But the thing is that if I want to invest, and of course this is not financial advice, what should I look for? EPS, PE ratio, the return on equity, and finally the profit margin. And we can see that those numbers are a little bit high, especially the 33%. Like, why is it so high, this number? People are actually willing to pay extra, to pay a lot more, because they think that Microsoft is one of those companies that it's gonna grow a lot. But how can we understand if this can be actually plausible? Well, by just looking at the $245 billion, but also about the profit margin, which is roughly at 35%. That's a huge number. That's humongous. That's really big. If you made so much money in revenue, it means that 35% of that, which is this number, it's all yours. Not all yours, because then you have to be taxed, but at the same time, still, it's a lot, a humongous number. But even though the company is doing well with these numbers, how someone can take a decision like that? Well, it's important to look a little bit about the news about the company, and of course to keep track about the whole economic situation. Microsoft is investing a lot into AI because they have a huge stake in OpenAI, so ChatGPT, but also because they have Copilot, which takes data from GitHub. So just talking a little bit about the coding world, they have a huge stake in that. And also they're taking a huge step into investing not just more in OpenAI, but also in infrastructures. But also they're investing a lot into cloud as well, because they think that that operation is actually one of the most successful and one of the most profitable one. But now let's think a little bit about the whole broader economy, because it's really important to understand that of course you can invest and do things, but if you are in economic condition where there is a little bit of tension because the Trump administration is doing a back and forth with tariffs, it means that it's not going to be that easy to make a decision into investing, especially because if you don't know if the prices are going to go up, or like the prices of certain goods such as eggs are still going to increase, you don't know if you want to actually keep your money cash, or like have your money, or to actually invest them or buy other things. So at this point, we're talking a little bit about the uncertainty. We're talking about the confidence of consumers, which is not the highest right now because things are not going so well with the Trump administration. So let's say that this is having an impact because people, rather than spending, they prefer to kind of be a little bit more cautious. And this is also impacted by the unemployment rates, which even though they're still stable, at the moment we can see that there is a little bit of uncertainty about what are going to be happening. And people, of course, because the economy is made by people, the people, they are a little bit, I don't know kind of what to do, let's say. So that's very important to think about. But the thing is that we saw a little bit of how successful the company was how many things they achieved, how the numbers, the statistics are saying, what are saying, and also what are the plans. But what are actually the pros, the actual analysts are saying? They think that the average price for Microsoft should be around 505, which is quite a bit more than the current price, which is actually 436, a highest price of 650. At the current state, the analysts are saying that the price of Microsoft is not the fairest one, which means that out of 60 analysts, they think that Microsoft is actually a strong buy or definitely a buy. What they're saying right now is that the current price, the current economic situation, and the current plans for the future for Microsoft, it means that this could be a good opportunity to kind of like get a little bit closer to Microsoft. But now that we have all the picture together with all the information and everything, what can we say about it? We can say that it's a really good company, very profitable, a huge, one of the most important companies. And of course, if you look a little bit, it's one of the most capitalized ones. So definitely it's one of those companies that are here to stay, and not just to stay, but to go further and further again and again. I think that the most, let's say, kind of wisest way to kind of get closer to this type of share would be either to kind of like, of course, buy this share, but also it will be to kind of, let's say, get the whole market. And by that I'm talking about the S&P 500, which of course has a huge stake into Microsoft. And of course it's not just that, because if by any chance, let's say, OpenAI or the AI industry, they take a little bit of a steam, they slow down a little bit, there are going to be some other companies in the S&P 500 which are going to be, let's say, cover for that. But if you just invested in Microsoft, just the slowdown, the hypothetical slowdown in AI, this could have a little bit of an impact on shares. And of course, the other thing is that Microsoft gives dividends as well, which is not a lot, but still can be a little bit impactful. If you're finding this video helpful, please subscribe. It's free, and I'm gonna be making other videos with other companies. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'm gonna see you at the next one. Peace.